I'm Chris Sullivan. I'm an aerospace engineer at a software company in San Francisco, and I'm building a flat bottom 18-foot wooden dory using the ShaperOrigin. So I found a community makerspace in San Francisco that for a membership fee allowed people to use CNC machines in kind of like a gym membership way. And this was really great. Some of the drawbacks to it was that I needed to lug all of the wood from my warehouse down to the makerspace, use their tools, and then bring it all back, which would be particularly problematic if there was ever a mistake in your design, because you'd plan out this whole 3 hours of woodshop time, and 5 minutes in you realize you made a mistake on one of your designs and the day's kind of lost, and then you have to take all the wood out of the shop, bring it back to your warehouse, redesign your parts, and then schedule time in the future. So it definitely had its shortcomings. When the makerspace I was using closed, I was suddenly finding myself looking around at other spaces in the area, and I found Shaper, and I kind of approached them with the idea of putting their tool to the test with something the size of an 18-foot boat. It's something I've always wanted to build. You see boats and they kind of seem like a daunting impossibility to build yourself. And then one day you just kind of realize that people have been making these things for thousands of years without an engineering background, and I figured, how hard can it be? So I was able to take my existing workflow, and with just a couple small modifications to color coding the vector cut file, it was ready to cut with the Origin. And the best part was I didn't have to do that intermediate CAM process of creating tool paths for your specific machine, which can be a challenging endeavor. With traditional photography, you take a bunch of pictures and hope that they turned out right. And that's sort of analogous to what I was doing with the CNC machine. Whereas, with a digital camera, you can take a picture, see if it's good, and then keep moving. And if not, you can go back and retake that picture. So a lot of it worked out well, but I definitely had to revisit as I was building it. You like anything, you learn by making mistakes, and you learn what assumptions in CAD don't play out in reality. All the classic issues of rounding tolerances and just how things actually fit together. So the ability to change the designs on the fly was pretty critical, because if you have a static design and then something's wrong with it, you're in trouble. My favorite part about this is that now when I have an idea in my mind, I go from that idea in my mind to the part in my hand in a few minutes, and that wasn't possible before with the CNC rig. It's very enabling, and it allows for rapid prototyping, it allows for experimentation, and it allows me to be more adaptable. It's definitely sped up the process. The first thing that jumped out at me was how approachable the tool was. I'm used to CNC machines being very loud, violent, dangerous items to approach, whereas the Origin was something that you just walked up, you started using it, and you felt like you were using any old tool. It was very welcoming. There is something nice about actually holding the tool and doing the work with your hands. I felt to some extent what I was doing before was spending my free time coming up with these choreographed dances for the CNC machine to do, and then watching in fear and hoping that it would pull them off correctly. Whereas now I'm actually getting to cut the wood. I feel a little more involved, and it's a lot more enjoyable to cut wood that way.